Microfood forest.
Grand Rising. It's about 10 a.m. a.m. 10 a.m. in the morning, Monday. I'm in my backyard in the micro food forest. This is right here is bark mulch, pine bark mulch, and this here is large perlite. Large perlite. What I'm doing back here this morning is I'm making a batch of bonsai substrate. I'm making a batch of bonsai substrate for all the three wooden training bonsai pots that I'm making. I'm making three more wooden training bonsai pots, and I'm going to need more bonsai substrate to go in those three wooden training bonsai pots that I'm making. And as you can see, I'm using, as part of my substrate, I'm using pine bark mulch, organic pine bark mulch, beautiful mulch that's been composted, all organic. And I'm using large, very large perlite. I have a little bit of small in here, but mostly large in my bonsai soil. I also have some vermiculite in here. I also have a little bit of sand in here, and I mix that all up. I mix it all up like this, and I make a beautiful, rich variety bonsai substrate, bonsai soil. I make my own, as I've learned from watching the bonsai masters how they make their own bonsai soil. I could add academia in here too, which is another. I have a form of bonsai substrate. It's called academia. It's like a granular soil for bonsais. I didn't add any of it in here this time, but I have that too that I can add in here depending on what I'm planning. But I found that pine bark mulch compost is very good to use in your potting mix for bonsai soil. It's very good. Also, what I also add in here, once I fill this bonsai substrate mix up into the pots, and then I also add my worm compost, my worm castings, my earthworm castings, mixed with biochar. I add that on top of this. Once I get the wooden training bonsai pots filled with this, on top of this, I add 1 inch of earthworm castings mixed with biochar. I add an inch of that on top of, of this. I add that on top of this, and then I put another inch of black lava on top of everything. And then when I water the trees that have been placed into the wooden training bonsai pot, and I add the earthworm casting mixed with the biochar on top of this. I put it on top. I don't mix it in here. There's a reason why I don't mix it in here. And I always add it on top of this, the soil, because when I water it, I want that worm casting and biochar that's mixed together. I want that to go down into the soil and down into the root ball to fertilize the bonsai fruit trees. So that's why I do it that way. And it works just fine. So what I'm doing is I'm making my own DIY bonsai soil, and I put this into a 5-gallon green can I have, a 5-gallon green bucket that I have that is made for just putting organic stuff into. And I fill that 5-gallon green bucket up with my DIY bonsai mix soil substrate. And then when I want to use it to put into my DIY wooden training bonsai pots, then I'll have plenty of bonsai soil to do that. So everything's a process. Beautiful, beautiful soil, bonsai soil that I'm mixing for my bonsai larger fruit trees that I'm making. So that's what I'm doing early this morning. This morning, I had another surprise. The temperature got down to 37 degrees Fahrenheit early this morning, from like 3 a.m. all the way to 6 a.m. It got down to 37 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the coldest it's been. Almost freezing. It wasn't freezing, but almost freezing. And I was keeping an eye on that because I always pay attention to the weather for my micro food forest, especially now. So everything came out very well. It didn't get down to freezing. It wasn't forecasted to get down to freezing, but you never know. So, and tonight, going from Monday into Tuesday, it's going to do the same thing. It'll get down to 38 or 37. Then after tomorrow morning, we're going to go back up again to our normal weather. We'll be back into the high 70s and 80 degrees for the next week or whatever. So it's very good to pay attention to the weather if you have a micro food forest, because you don't want your temperate fruit trees to get into a frost and they all die. You don't want that. So I checked my fruit trees. They're all looking good. We didn't get a freeze at all. Got close to it. Got like, I'm thinking 12 degrees from it, I'm thinking. But we didn't freeze, so that was fine. So they did fine. So, but I'll keep an eye on the weather, because we're in southern Texas. We're in our late fall season, and the cool air is coming through. So So I'm pretty much done with this. I have some. I'm making 3 more wooden training bonsai pots. I'm making those, so I have to stain. I have to stain 2 more planks of Eastern red cedar. I have to stain that with my tung oil today. Each of the planks are 4 feet long and 1 feet wide, and I have 2. So I have to stain those today. Get those all stained with my tung oil overnight, and then tomorrow I will go ahead and cut those and get them ready to turn into more DIY wooden bonsai pots to pot more of my fruit trees in. So I have 3 pots that I'm making right now. So the journey goes on to grow more food. You guys have a nice evening. The government shutdown is now officially over. The Democrats finally voted to open the government back up again. Democrats are very disappointed because they didn't get what they wanted. They couldn't force the Republicans to do what they wanted to do, and they actually. I'm going to say this. I'm going to be real. The Democrats actually hurt the whole country by doing what they did. They put millions of people in distress. They caused a crisis at the airports with the traffic controller. They caused a severe crisis with that. They caused a severe crisis with shutting these SNAP benefits down. It was a whole big mess. And I'm glad the government has been reopened, which I knew it would eventually. And the stock market is up this morning. I was watching the stock market. So hopefully we're back to normal again. You guys have a good day. Detox, manifest, do more self-sustainable projects like I'm doing. Grow your own food, harvest your own solar power with lithium batteries, and don't be codependent on the government for everything you need to survive. Don't live in a socialist, communist market. Don't do that. Be more self-sustainable. You guys have a good Monday, and there's more videos coming still. The journey continues. At the end of the day, we have to learn how to save ourselves because nobody's coming to save us.